Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Good morning,
Hello,
everyone.
team.
How you going?
Hello.
Hi, Christy.
Hi. Good to see you all.
Yeah.
See you
All
too.
right. Let me get my paperwork here. All right. Let us see who we've got. So, do we have Yulong? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Kim Long.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
Joel.
Yep.
Hey, Joel. Mirza.
Yep.
Hello. Okay. Maminul.
Nabil.
I don't
Hello.
see him in the chat yet, no.
No. Okay.
He should ping him online soon, though.
Chi Sheng.
Yeah.
Lovely. And Yifan.
Yep.
Hello. Good to see you all. Firstly, thank you very much for your hopefully easy transition into online version. As of Monday, no, actually as of Sunday, just after I drove to Launceston to run the Launceston meetings, I was told to reverse and come all the way to Hobart because we're going online. So hopefully the transition to online for us will be smooth. After today, we won't actually have lectures and another management meeting for a few weeks' time. So hopefully it shouldn't have much impact. Is about running client meetings now. What I want you to do is to transition those online as much as possible. So if you can meet your clients either through video chat or some other mechanism or even on phone, if you want to meet them face to face and they're comfortable doing so, I'm not going to stop you, but I think given that we're already socially isolated, it's a good idea to remain that way. So your client liaison, when you're setting up meetings and interactions, please keep that in mind about how you might go about interacting with them. Is anything that you want, Skype for Business, Zoom, Discord, whatever they have access to would be perfect from this point on. Okay?
Yeah.
Great. So today's just a quick catch up, both to look back on the last 3 weeks and to look forward in terms of getting ready. Yours was a very solid distinction, which is really great for the first time that you've done a group activity in this assignment. So I'm very pleased indeed with that. There were a few areas just identified for slight improvement and nothing significant. So just work on those. You don't obviously have to redo anything, but keep those in mind as you're working through. As I look through your peer results, your self results, again, generally quite high in that regard. However, it's not consistent throughout the team. So there are some members of the team that didn't provide enough detail, and that will be clearly indicated on your feedback form that's in your personal drive. So where I've said you need more detail or there's a problem, please take account of that, because that means I don't have enough information to be able to grade you effectively. And similarly, your rest of your team don't have enough either. So please make sure that you increase that detail and improve there. And in terms of your self-review, what I can see is some very, very strong contributions from the majority of your team, which is really great. Very pleased indeed to see that people are taking this seriously. They are elevating their own work. They're striving for a good outcome, which is exactly what we want. That said, however, there are a number of members of the team who would not have got that result in their peer review. And in those reports, you will see very clearly the areas that have been identified both by me and your team of needing immediate improvement. And so what that indicates is not just improvement is needed, but in order to pass the unit, you're going to actually have to significantly increase both the attention you spend to project and the quality of your work for this project, because it is not up to standard. This is not everybody, so please don't everybody be concerned. Those people it relates to would have definitely received that feedback. So what I'm going to be looking for in the next round of assessment is that all of those elements have actually been improved upon. So that's really important for you to take as a personal note if you have some areas that need addressing. But on the whole, I'm not actually seeing too many major concerns that are going to stop the project moving forward. Is that how you see your team working as well? Is there something you'd like to talk to me about? Anything I can help you with?
No.
No? Hanging in there? Okay. All right. On Monday, I put a smaller version of a recorded lecture online. Have you all had a chance to look at that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic. So I kind of kept it contained. So we just give you the most basic stuff that you need to move forward. So what we're looking for now is moving forward to a planning phase, which means now we're actually getting into the specifics of what the system will do. So beforehand, you explore what the system was for. Now we're exploring what the system will do. And so what you're going to be creating is a detailed specification of what you're actually going to be building. So yours is probably what we would consider to be a business system, not an entertainment game or anything like that. And so where it says scope in the assignment specifications, that to you should be represented as a requirements document. And so for your team, what you want to do is go back to, KIT 206, where you're introduced to requirements documents and RTMs and such. And that's what you'll be creating. So in terms of creating a requirements document, we usually include functional requirements, which are the things you actually need to build so the system actually works. So if one of those isn't there, the system physically doesn't work. We also have non-functional requirements, which are the things that relate to quality and performance. So these are the things that even if they're not there, the system still works. It just doesn't work as good as it should. We also have user experience requirements. So what is the flow or navigation through your system and the experience that people will have? And then also interface requirements. So what is it physically what is it going to look like? And what are the attributes that need to be in there from a user interface perspective? So that's kind of what you'll do first, and then you'll kind of translate that out into an RTM, so requirements trace matrix. Basically translates the requirement into kind of a user case so that you can test the achievement of it later on. So those are things that you should have had experience with in 206. Does any of that sound unfamiliar? Do you know what those elements are and what you want to be doing now?
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the major part of the assignment. The next one is a release schedule, and that's where you align your very large sections of stuff that you've said you're going to create to the upcoming Agile cycles. So Agile 1 is week 7 to 12 of semester 1.
Yeah.
Agile 2 is weeks 1 to 6 of semester 2. And Agile 3 is weeks 7 to 12 of semester 2. So you have 3 big development chunks coming up. Based on everything that you're specifying, I want you to allocate some of them to each one. And we do this so that both you and your client understand what your requirements are for each one of those major chunks. Don't expect you to do everything at once, but what is going to happen in Agile 1, what is happening in Agile 2, and what is happening in Agile 3. Just represent that out on a number of different Gantt charts or something like that. So what are the major tasks? What are the subtasks? Who's going to be doing what, just so you can continually use that as a tool to monitor your own progress.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the third part is a small part, but it's kind of where you articulate whether you have everything that you need to create your artifact. So this is a technical question. Do you have the systems that you need to develop and design your system? If not, what do you need from your client? And if not, what do you need implemented by UTAS, set up in a lab or something like that? Okay. It's entirely okay to go, we have everything that we need, and just leave it at that. You don't have to write stuff in that section if it's not relevant. Okay. So that's kind of what's coming up. In the lecture, in one of the last slides, there's some getting ready next steps, so make sure you take a look at that. And it's due in week 6. So I'm very happy again to give you feedback before submission. So if you're ready late week 5, early week 6, feel free to send me a message. We'll set up a number of these. We can do screen sharing so I can have a look at your documents.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's kind of all I really wanted to chat to you about specifically today. Is there anything else that's going on in your team or your project, or anything that I can answer any questions on, or any ways to help you?
I just got a small question about semester 2, 302.
Yep.
You said there's just 2 agile development phases. Are they just worth like 50%, 50%, and that's it?
Not exactly, but mostly.
Okay.
There are, at the end, there is also a big presentation.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of sits outside of the agile schedule. But
Yep.
basically, it's the 2 agiles are equal.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wondering.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I don't really have any other questions.
No.
No.
All right. Well, as you start, things will pop up. So I'm here. I'm online. This is now where I live. So please feel free to either call through or send a message or ask any questions if you have. Again, because you haven't necessarily done requirements documents, you'll find them a little confronting when you see the size of them. But it's mostly just a procedure of what should it do, what should it do, what should it do. And then just articulating it out. I don't care about templates. There are a million different ways to create these documents, but most of them have the same kind of sections. So just look online for a template and use that if you want to. And similarly, there's a pretty standard way of creating an RTM. So go back to 206. If you can't find what you need there, just go online for, sort of more generic templates.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
With
All
the
right.
initiation report,
Yes.
we obviously struggled a lot with the benefits and quality sections.
Yep.
And we actually did try really hard to try and get those correct. So I still don't really understand what they're supposed to be. And if we could have
Good
like maybe
question.
some examples of eventually of what the kind of things that you would put in there, that'd be great for our own understanding.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So benefits are only increases or decreases in a thing. And so it's like there will be an increase in processing of applications by 20% that will measure at the end of the year. Or there will be a decrease in time that it takes to do a thing by 15% that will check in 3 months' time. It's just a very simple linear thing.
Yep.
An up or down of a by an amount to be measured at a time. That's all it is. So benefits they're only those things that you can actually quantify, like very specific quantification.
Yep.
So anything that is about, it would be nice to have if we had this, or it'd be great if it was shiny at the same time. We don't classify those as benefits in project management. So it's only up or down of a thing by an amount at a time.
Yep.
And in terms of quality, that's only the standards. So it's kind of what do you have to design and develop in adherence to. So again, quality in terms of performance is actually a non-functional requirement, which is going to be what you hit here. So if there's anything in that initiation document that is about performance, actually that's going to help you now because you'll pull those out and put them in here. But in the initiation report, quality is only the very specific objective standards and policies you have to design and adhere to. So, this policy, so, the Australian federal government policy on privacy, or the HCI principle policy on best practice software development, or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Very specific ones.
Yeah. We did have one in there about the World Wide Web Consortium accessibility
exactly
standards.
That. Yeah. You just need those for all of the different parts of your project.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, just because later when we say, have you created a quality product, you will say, yes, we adhere to all these standards, and by definition that makes it a quality product.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Thanks.
Yeah. It's a good question. All right, well, if anything pops up, if you have any questions or you're concerned about stuff as you move on, please get in contact. Otherwise, I will catch up with you in a review session in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
But otherwise, don't wait that long if you're ready before or you have any questions beforehand. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, it's good to see you online. I will log off now and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.